You have to stand in line for quite a while if you need an ATM in Athens. Ordinary folk are getting cash out in advance of Sunday's elections. Some say up to $900 million worth of euros is being withdrawn from Greek banks every single day. The Greeks are scared that the party that wins might refuse to cut public spending, which would wreck a Europe-wide bailout of the Greek economy. So they would rather have cash under the bed or in a well-stocked food cupboard than a balance in a risky bank. This week, Spain received a bailout from Europe worth up to $120 billion. But the credit ratings of its largest banks have nonetheless been downgraded, and the country is still awash with debt. The rescue did very little to calm the markets. Spain's financial woes are de alto riesgo, very high risk. And then there's Italy. Now, bailing out a nation that's been mismanaging its economy for so long might cost an extra $750 billion. We're now talking absurd telephone numbers, and all for what? To preserve a currency barely a decade old that was only introduced as a device to stabilise exchange rates and make the European market a fairer place to trade. Britain didn't join at the start and wouldn't even contemplate it now. There'd actually be a riot if any government over here tried to sign us up. But in the name of saving the euro, the most fervent pro-Europeans are now pleading for even greater integration of the rules and the methods and the tactics, because that's really the only way to make a single currency work, by forcing all 17 national participants to operate in exactly the same way by exactly the same rules, which is exactly the insuperable problem. Because unless you can make the Greeks and the Spaniards and the Italians and all the others behave just like the Germans and work hard, save hard and be prudent, then you've got a recipe for disaster. This crisis has been around for 2 years plus. We've heard it all before, but that doesn't mean it isn't relevant, and that doesn't mean it isn't going to hurt us all. The best advice is that it will get worse before it gets better. Don't say I didn't warn you. This is Ed Boyle for CBS News in London.